Recording in progress.
Okay, super. Okay, Lamai, so welcome to the second session of Python video series. So now, even though it's a Python video series, this is not for university students or people who are going to learn Python. This is for A-level students. So if someone watching this video for the first time in the YouTube, now this is for A-level students. So last week, if you watched the video, Lamai, we get some high level understanding about what are the programming languages. We didn't start learning actual programming language, that means the Python language, but we took a couple of hours to learn about what are the programming languages, how programming languages are working. We got some high level idea about programming languages. Now from this week onwards, we are going to uh, gets our hand that we are going to learn the actual programming language. Okay, so the programming language that we are learning in the in A levels is Python programming language. So from today onwards, we are going to learn the actual programming language. So as I mentioned in last week, Lamai, so I told that I believe that everyone joining my classes, they are hope to become some better software engineers in future. Okay, I think you have that eager to become a better software engineers in future. So this is the first step. Okay, this is the first step. So if you are really going to become a better software engineer in one day, now this is a huge milestone on that walk, Lama. Okay, so because this is the first time that you are going to learn a programming language. Now you might have learned Pascal. If you did ICT for your O levels, then you might have learned Pascal language. But when you are doing your O levels, you are actually not experienced the real power of programming languages. This is the first time in A levels you are going to learn this programming language. So this is a huge milestone in your journey, Lamai. And from today onwards, you are going to take a number of baby steps to become that better software engineer one day. So this is the first step that you are going to take towards that. Okay, so back in the days, Lamaya, when I'm doing A levels, I did my A levels in 2015. Okay, and we had to install Python language into our computer. Now, fortunately, nowadays we don't have to do that. Okay, so let me still I'm not writing anything on the screen, so just let me stop sharing for now. And I think the video is still getting recorded, right? Yeah, it is still recording. So yeah, since I'm not writing anything until I will not share the screen. So what I was talking about, so I was talking about how to work with Python in our computer. So back in the days when I'm doing A levels, we had to install Python language, Python programming language, or the Python software into our computers. But fortunately, now we don't have to do that because there are a number of websites who is providing virtual Python environments, Ramai. Okay, who's providing virtual Python environment. So if you have some internet access, we can just use our websites to write Python codes and run Python codes on the web. We don't have to install. Okay, we don't have to install Python into our computers. We can just use the browser, any browser that we have already installed in our computer. So if you have a mobile device, now you definitely have a either you have a mobile phone or a laptop in order to watch this video. So definitely whoever going to learn Python from me, they have access to the internet. Okay, otherwise how we are going to watch this video, ne? So you have internet access, so that means everyone can run Python codes. So when I starting the Sinhala medium classes also, Lamai, that I told them that if you are not going to write your codes, if you are not going to make your hands dirty with these programming languages, then you are not going to experience uh, uh, the uh, the true programming language, Lama. You can write your codes in your books. It's also fine. And definitely when you are going this journey with me, you have to practice writing your codes on your book as well, Lama. You have to practice that because at the LL exam you have to write your codes on a paper, Lama. So you have to have that experience as well. But if you are not writing codes on your computer, if you are not actually run your codes, then you are not going to learn this programming language. You just write in some codes, but only when you are write and run execute your codes, you get errors. Okay, only when you execute your code you see the actual results. So Lamai, writing codes on your paper is not enough. Definitely you have to write codes on a mobile phone or a laptop or a PC. Definitely you have to make your hands dirty, Lamai. Otherwise you're not going to learn the programming language in a proper way. Okay, so every time when you are getting errors, that means you are learning. Okay, that's mean you are learning scope, because every time when you are getting errors, you have to fix those errors. That means you are learning this language. So I think, yeah, now I think I can share my screen. So what I'm going to do is, Lamai, from here we are going to write some codes. Okay, we are taking some ad hoc approach. We are not going to learn. So this is our first day. We are not going to learn, okay, what's the meaning of these syntaxes that we are writing today. We are not going to learn those stuff. We are just going to write some codes and write some see some results. Okay, we are just going to do that. And let me open my browser. And now, as I mentioned previously, you don't have to install Python, but I have installed Python in my computer. So I will use both environments, the web environment or the browser, and the software that I have already installed on my computer. And in future week, Lamai, okay, in future I will show that okay, how to install Python into your computer as well, because there are some tools. Okay, there are some tools there's a tool called IDLE, which is integrated development and learning environment, as I remember the abbreviation. We have to learn about this tool a bit. Okay, we have to learn about this tool a bit for the A levels. So I will teach you how to install the software into your computers as well. But today we are not going to do that. Today we are only going to use this website, which is Programmist. Now this is a very famous website, Lamai. Most of the people who are learning programming languages, they are using this programming environment. Okay, this environment providing a number of programming language supports, Lamai. Okay, here we can use Python language, R language, and this SQL support is there, and HTML5, Java support, C, C++, C Sharp, JavaScript, Go, PHP, Swift, and R, Rust. Okay, there are a number of programming language supports in this website. So if you are learning any of these programming language, you can use this environment. Okay, you can use this environment. And for our A levels, okay, for our A levels, Lamai, we are learning 3 of these things. Okay, the first one is Python, and second one is database. Okay, second one is database. Under database, we are going to learn SQL queries. We are going to write some SQL queries, so we can do that in the same environment. Okay, we can do that in the same environment. And also we are going to learn some HTML, which we can write in the same environment again. Okay, we can write CSS codes and we can write HTML codes, and we are not going to write in JS code. We might have to write some PHP codes as well. Okay, we have to write some PHP codes in your web development lesson, which is the 10th lesson on your syllabus. It's the web development lesson. Under web development lesson, we are going to write some PHP, HTML, CSS codes. We can use the same environment. So I think for all the practicals that you have to do in your A levels, you can use this website, Lamai. You can use this website. It's more than enough to practice your codes. Okay, it's more than enough, Lamai. So yeah, I'm going to close these unnecessary environments, and I'm going to use only the Python environment for now. Okay, now let me share this link in the chat as well. So I will share in both WhatsApp and Zoom chat. Okay, I'll share this in both WhatsApp and Zoom chat. So you can get access to it. Okay, you don't need to log in. Okay, you don't need to log in or register into this website. It's free to use. Okay, it's free to use. And yeah, when you log into this website, Lamai, when you log into this website, you can see there are two it's a partition. There are two partitions in website. The left part is where you write your codes. Okay, you can write anything here. Okay, as I show here, you can write anything. And right side is the runtime environment, Lamai. When you run your code, okay, when you execute your Python code, you can see your results in the right side. Okay, you can see your result right side. So let me write a simple code here, and like what I'm going to do is I'm going to write print hello world. Okay, this is going to print this hello world string into the screen. So if I run this code here, you can see output. You can see your outputs in this side. Okay, I will teach you what this code does and how to write these codes. I will teach that later, but just now I just want to explain you how this website works. Okay, you can run your codes in the left side. which is main.py file. Okay, every Python file that you write, you have to end it file with the py extension, which is uh, represent the Python language. Okay, you have to if you are writing your codes in your local machine, then you have to save your file as file with this .py extension. But in this environment, you don't have to do that. Okay, you don't have to do that. And in the right side, you can see the results. And also, Lamai, you can use this button, okay, which is now seems as a sun, in order to toggle the dark mode and light mode. Okay, now some people are used to write your codes in this light mode. They like to use this light mode, but most of the people they don't like to use this light mode because it's very difficult. It's very hard for our eyes. So we are used to use this dark mode, Lamai. So most of the 99% of software engineers, they are using this dark mode. So if some websites, okay, let's say if there's a website which doesn't support dark mode, usually software developers are they don't actually using those websites if they don't have the dark mode support, because we love dark mode because it's very easy for our Islam. Right? It's very easy for us. So we love the dark mode. So now I think you should very recently, I think Wikipedia also released a dark mode for their website. So up to now Wikipedia didn't have dark mode. Now I think Wikipedia also have dark mode. So yeah, for these classes, okay, for these Python classes, I will use this dark mode. If you love light mode, then you can use that. Yeah, that's all about this environment, Lamai. Okay, that's all about this environment. You have this clear button here right side at the right side. If you hit this button, this runtime environment or the runtime will be cleared out. And if you hit this run button, okay, if you hit this run button, then your program will be executed. You have to write your program in the left side. This is the editor. Okay, we call this an editor. You can edit and you can write your codes on the left hand side, and this is the runtime environment. Okay, runtime environment. When you run your code, you can see output in the right hand side. Okay, I think this is very clear for you. Okay, now Lamai, today what we are going to do, we are going to write some Python codes and we will execute those codes, and we are going to see what are the results. Okay, that's that's all that we are going to do today. And from next week we are going to learn some actual concepts. We are going to learn some actual concepts, but today we will take some ad hoc approach to learn these Python codes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, Lamai, I'm going to print something. Okay, I'm going to use the print function. There's a function called print. I'm going to use this print function. Using this print function, we can print or we can display things in our screen, Lamai. Okay, we can display things in our screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to print something. Okay, I'm going to print something. So into this print function, okay, now let me increase the size a bit. Now I think you can see this properly. I think I'm sharing the correct screen, right? Okay. So inside this print screen, I can write anything. Okay, I can write anything. So if I'm writing some textual data, okay, some textual data, that means if I'm writing some words, I have to use this quotes, Lamai. Quotes by these words, Lamai. Okay. For the first example, what I'm going to write is, I'm going to write hello world. Basically, this is the first code that anyone who's going to learn any programming language, this is what they print. This is what they do. Okay, they just write the hello world code. Okay, this is the first code everyone who is going to learn a new programming language, even if you are going to learn Java, even if you are going to learn C language, this is the first thing that you are going to do. You write your hello world code. Okay, what you are going to do, you're going to print something into your screen. What I'm going to print this hello world. We call this an string. Okay, we call this an string. So we will learn these things later. What I'm going to do, I'm going to print this text into the screen. Now see, Lamai, when I write this print, see the P is the P letter. It's in lowercase. Okay, you can see it's a simple letter. It's in lowercase. If I write this in uppercase, then it's incorrect, Lamai. Okay, then it's incorrect. We will learn these things while we are doing this. We can learn those things. Okay, but for now, just remember, if we write any of letters in uppercase, it's incorrect, Lamai. Okay, because Python is a case sensitive language. If we mistakenly use some incorrect case, then program will send some error. Okay, now I'm going to hit the run button. Okay, I'm going to hit the run button. Now you can see the result on the right side. Now this one is generated from the environment line. Okay, from the environment, or the website generating this result, we don't have to care about that. Okay, this is the result that generated from our code line. Okay, this hello world part is the code that generated, or the result that generated from our code. Now this one is generated from the environment, we don't have to care about that. Okay, see, you can see now we have this hello world output. Okay, we have this hello world output. Now let's print something else. Let me print the name of our programming language, which is Python. Okay, if we hit the run button, now we get the result. Okay, we can see the Python, we call this as an string. Okay, when we put these codes by the size of this textual data, we call this an string. Okay, we will learn those things later. Now Python string is written into the screen. Okay, let me write something else. Let me write my name, which is Buddhika Chaturanga, and when I hit the run button, you can see the output. Now we can pass anything into the print function. Okay, print function. Now here I have passed some string data. Okay, I have passed some string data. We will learn those words later. Now here I have passed some string data, and when I hit the run button, I can see the result in the right hand side. Okay, this is the first code that we are going to learn. Okay, let me change this again into hello world. Okay, if I hit the run button, we can see the result. Okay, if I want to print some numbers, okay, let's say I want to print some numbers, I want to print a number, then I can when I want to print some numbers, I don't need to use these quote marks. Okay, I don't need to use these quotes. If I want to print some number, then I can just pass that number into the print function. Okay, let's say I want to print this number, which is 100. Then I just pass this number into the print function. Now print, this is a function. Okay, this is a function. We will learn about functions in very latter part of our sessions. Okay, latter part of our syllabus we will learn about functions, but here right now just let those words get familiar to you. Okay, just let those words to get familiar to you. Then when we are actually learning these concepts, it's become very easier for you. Okay, when you are familiar with these words. Okay, now this print is a function. Into the print function we pass this number. Here you can see we are not using these quotes with this number. Okay, if I hit the run button, we can see the output. Okay, we can see the output, and we can use this course as well. Okay, there's no problem. If we use this course, there is no any errors. Okay, system not going to send any errors. It's also going to print this number, but there are little differences. Okay, there are differences when we are using this course and when we are not using this course. There are differences. We will talk about those things later, but right now we are just going to print few things into the screen. Okay, let me write that string as well. Hello world. Now this hello world is an string. Here this 100, it is just a number. Okay, this 100 is just a number. This data, it's an string. Why we call this an string? Because we can see these codes with this string. With this text data, we can see these codes. That's why we call this an string. Okay. Yeah, let's say I want to print some fraction number. I want to print the value of 5, which is 3.14. Okay, now in the same way I can print this, and now see, I can see all three outputs. Okay, Python interpreter going to execute this line first. As the output of this line, we get this hello world. Okay, as the output of this print line, we get this 100, and as the result of this execution of this line, we get this 3.14. Okay, in this way, we can print anything into the screen. Okay, to output something into the screen, we are using this print function, and we can pass anything into this print function. Okay, we can pass anything into the print function. Now this is the first code that we are going to write today. Yeah, let's take a couple of minutes to write down this code. And if you have access to the laptop now, you can write down this code on your laptop, and you can execute and do all the things. And if you don't have access to a laptop right now, what you can do is you can write down this code on your textbook and your exercise book, and then after this session you can try these codes, Lamai. Okay, that's the way we are going to do this. So anyhow, Lamai, anyhow, definitely you have to write these codes in any platform. Okay, it's not matter whether you are going to write this code on the software that you have installed into your computer, or this web platform that you're going to write this code. It's not matter now, it doesn't matter. Definitely you have to write codes and you have to run your code. Okay, you have to run your program, otherwise you are not going to experience the actual programming language. Okay, if you are just writing your codes on your book. Okay, take a couple of minutes and write down this code. Okay, right, and if you have access, please hit the run button and see the results. Okay, take 1 or 2 minutes to write down this code, Lamai. If you don't have access to the computer there, please write down this code on your exercise book. Okay, just don't pay it idle. Okay, just don't pay it idle. Please write down this code on your textbooks or on your exercise book. Then after the class, please try these codes. Okay, now since you are in this classroom, that means you either have access to a mobile phone or a laptop. Ne? So after this class, you can join this website using a mobile phone as well. Please write these codes and please do these exercises. Okay? Just don't pay it idle. When you are done, please raise your hand. When you are done, please raise your hand. We can continue. Okay, so I think the time is enough. Let's continue. So I think you get the result. Okay, you might have the result. So let's try to write some another code, Lamai. Okay, now I'm going to do something different. Okay, now Lamai, when it's come to this print function, okay, when it's come to this print function, we have to learn a lot about this print function. Okay, we have to learn a lot of things about this print function. Actually, we have to learn in depth about this print function. Okay, now you see the most minimum functionality that we can do with this print function. Okay, just passing something into the print function, it's going to print that into the screen. Okay, that's the minimum functionality. Okay, that's the minimum functionality, or the basic functionality that we can do with this print function. Okay, there are some other use cases we have to learn, but let's learn those things in next lessons. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, when you are using this programming language Lamai, we have to store some data inside our program. Okay, we have to store some data in our programs. For store some data in our programs, we are doing something like that. Okay, let's say I want to store, or I want to save uh, marks of my three subjects. Okay, marks of my three subjects in this program. Then at the later part I can I can find the sum of these three marks, okay, of these three subjects. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create three variables. Okay, I'm going to create three variables. For now I did physics, combined maths and ICT for my A levels. So I will use these three subjects. So I create a variable called maths, and then I'm going to assign my maths mark into this variable, like let's say 65. Okay, now what's happening is Lamai, inside the Python program, it will create a variable. Now for these things we call variables Lamai. In Sinhala we call Vichalyan. Okay, we are using this thing to save our data. Now the data 65 will be stored in this maths variable. Okay, it's same to what we used to do in our maths classes Lamai. Okay, when we in our O levels in mathematics periods, we used to do this. Okay, we used to do this when we are solving problems, like let's say mama went to the supermarket and she bought 10 apples, and if the price of apple is 10 rupees, then how much cost total. Okay, so in order to solve questions or the problems like that, we used to do some things like that in our algebra lessons. Okay, now here I create a variable called maths and I assign 65 to this variable. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another variable which is physics, and then I'm going to assign let's say 85. Okay, let's say 85, and then that's another subject which is ICT. I'm going to create another variable for that, and I'm going to assign ICT marks to this this variable. Okay, let's say I got 75 for ICT. Okay, now in this way Lamai, we can store our data in our program. Now 65 is assigned to maths, 85 is assigned to variable called physics. Okay, 75 is assigned to variable named ICT. Okay, in this way I can store these three values inside the program. Okay, now in the latter part of my program I can use these variables. Okay, I can use these variables. Now what I'm going to do is Lamai, I'm going to calculate the total of these three variables, or these three subjects. I'm going to calculate the total. For that I'm going to create another variable called total. Okay, I'm going to use I'm going to create another variable called total, and then I'm going to assign the sum of these three variables. I can do that in this way Lamai. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do the addition operation. Okay, do the addition operator. Using the addition operator I can calculate the sum of these three subjects Lamai. I add maths, I'm adding physics into maths, and then I will add ICT to the physics. So in this way Lamai, we can calculate the total. Okay, in this way we can calculate the total. It's not necessary to write the variable name total here Lamai. We can write either any variable name here, but if we write total, it makes sense Lamai. Okay, then we know, okay, what's the value of this program. It's the total of these three subjects. We can easily understand. If someone going to read our code, they know, okay, now this variable contains the total of this particular program. Okay, that's why we are writing some meaningful variable names. Okay, now this total variable has the value of or the total of these three subjects. Now Lamai, we can print this variable as well. Now previously we just passed some data Lamai. We just passed some integer values or the numeric values or strings into the print function. Now Lamai, here we are going to do, what we are going to do is we are going to pass this variable which is total into the print function. Okay, let's write print function here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this variable which is total into the print function. Okay, now let's see what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to run this program. When I hit the run button, I can see the total. Okay, I can see the total now. 65, adding 65 into 85 and 75, the total is 225, and we can see the result at the in the right hand side line. Okay, in this way we can calculate the total, and we can print it to the screen line. Okay, we can print it to the screen. This is another program that we are going to learn today, and you can write down this code. If you have access to the laptop, you can write this code on your laptop, and please hit the run button and see the results. Okay, see the results. And this is the second program that we are going to learn today. We are going to write a number of these ad hoc codes. Okay, in this couple of weeks we are going to write down many codes like this. After a couple of weeks only, we are going to learn actual concepts. Okay, we are just trying to get familiar with these syntaxes. Okay, we are just trying to get familiar with these syntaxes. Only after a couple of weeks we can actually learn what actually happening inside these programs. Okay, what actually Python runtime do, what actually Python interpreter going to do when we write some program like this, and when we hit the run button, what's actually Python interpreter do. Okay, we learn these stuffs after a couple of weeks. Only after a couple of weeks we are just trying to getting familiar with these syntaxes. Okay, so please write down this code. Okay, please write down this code, and if you are writing this code on your book, please uh, after the class, please do practice these codes on your laptop. Okay, okay, take a couple of minutes, and try to write and execute this code. Okay, a bit bigger. Please write down the code. If you have access to the laptop, please execute as well. Okay, Lamai. I think that's enough. So let's some add more features to the same code, Lamai. Let's try to add some more features into the same code. Okay, now we have find the total. Okay, we have find the total. Now what we are going to do is, Lamai, we are going to find the average as well. Okay, now we already have the total. Now let's find the average. Now what's the average? Average means you have to divide total into 3. Okay, you have to divide total by 3, then you will get average. Here, because we have only 3 subjects, we have only 3 subjects, so if we divide total by 3, then we will get average. So we can create another variable for this average as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another variable for this average. Then in order to calculate this average, what I'm going to do, I will divide total by 3. In this way I can do that. I'm using this divide operator. Okay, we call this divide operator. These are operators, Lamai. Okay, these are operators. Now this is addition operator. Okay, this is addition operator, this is divide operators. We will learn about those things one by one, Lamai. Okay, we are going to learn these things later. Today we are only going to write some codes and trying to get familiar with the syntaxes. Okay, now I have write expression to calculate average. Now I have create variable in the left side of this is assignment operator. Okay, this is the assignment operator. In the left side of assignment operator, I have created the variable called average. The right side of the assignment operator, I have done the actual calculation, which is divide total by 3. Now this average, or the value when we get after dividing total by 3, it should be stored in the average variable domain. Okay, this variable, we have this variable called average. Now after executing this line, the actual average value should be stored in the variable called average. Now what I'm going to do, I will print this average variable. Okay, I will print this average variable. In this way I can do that. Okay, now let me hit the run button. See, here we get the result, Lamai. We get the result, but we get in a fractional number. Okay, let's talk about that later. Okay, we are going to learn that as well. Now for these fractional numbers, we call these a floating point numbers, Lamai. Okay, when we have a fractional part, okay, when we have a fractional part, we call these floating point numbers. When we have only the whole number part, okay, when we have whole numbers, we call these integers. We call these integers. When we have a fractional part as well, we call these floating points. Okay, now we have this code, what we have done in first 3 lines, we have created some variables, Lamai. In first 3 lines we have created some variables which are maths, physics and ICT, and we have assigned some values to those variables. Okay, we have assigned some integer values. Okay, because these are whole numbers, Lamai. These are whole numbers. These numbers don't have any fractional parts, so we call these are integers. Okay, in Sinhala Purna Sankhya, Nikila. And we have created another variable called total. And what we have done here in the right side, we have write some expression to calculate the total of these 3 variables. Okay, we have used this addition operator to do that. Okay, in the next line, we have print. Okay, we print the total variable. Okay, we pass total variable into this print function, and this print function going to print this actual value to the screen. Okay, then in the next line, what we have done, we have calculated the average. Okay, we have calculated the average and we assign that value to this variable, which is average. Okay, and then we pass this variable average to the print function. Then what print function going to do? Print function will print this value to the screen. Okay, now I think, Lama, you have now what we are going to do is we are going to write this code on our exercise book, Lama. Okay, now it's not enough. As I said previously, Lama, you definitely have to practice these codes on your laptop. Okay, you definitely have to do this. You definitely have to do that. And also, Lamai, since we are going to at the end of the day, Lamai, at the A level, what we are going to do, we are going to write our codes on a paper, Lamai. So we have to practice that as well. Okay, we have to practice that as well. So because of that, now what we are going to do, we are going to take this code into our textbook. or our exercise. Okay, let me take this code in this way. Now we have our code here. Now since we have our code here, Lamai, we are going to do something else with this code. When we took this code to our text, our exercise book, Lamai, we will going to explain our code here. Okay, what we have done here, we are going to explain this. Okay, we are going to write everything what each of these lines are going to do. Now, okay, so what we have done in this first three lines, Lamai, we have created some variables. Okay, we have created some variables. You can write this down here. Okay, we have created some variables. Create variables. Okay, create variables, and we call these are variables. Lamai, this maths, physics, ICT. These are variables. Okay, now what we have done here, we have created some variables and we have assigned some values to. Okay, now what we are going to do here, Lamai, what we are doing here, we are trying to get familiarized with these syntaxes. Okay, we are just trying to getting familiar with these syntaxes. So please write everything that I'm writing in the whiteboard. Okay, please write everything and use the same stylings, Lamai. Okay, use the same stylings, because what I'm telling this to you, just let me show a book to you. Okay, now head first Python is also okay. Okay, just let me to reference you to this book. Now this is a book to learn a programming. There's a programming language called Java, Lamai. You are not going to learn this in your areas, but if you go to if you go to the university and you follow a software engineering course, then definitely you have to learn this programming language, which is Java. Okay, now this is the most famous book, okay, most popular book among the community. Nowadays you are not going to use these books to learn programming languages. Okay, now everything you can learn, you can use websites. Okay, nowadays you are not going to use these books much, but back in my days, when we were learning programming languages, we used to use these books. Okay, now I personally I have used this Head First Java book. Now this is the most popular book among the programmers. In order to learn some programming languages, they are using this Head First book. Now this Java book is for Head First Java, to learn Java language. Now if we scroll down a bit, you can see how they are using these stylings, these writing patterns to understand things. Okay, let me scroll down to a program. I think our first program okay, here we have our first program. If you go there, they are using this sort of approach to learn things. Now this is a Java code, and they break down each word. They break down each word and they write what's the meaning of this particular word, or the syntaxes, or the tokens. And in this way, it's very easier to getting familiar with the syntaxes. Also, you can, it's very rapid way to learn programming languages, okay, and also this is a very beginner friendly mechanism. So that's why I'm telling, please write down everything that I'm doing here. Okay, just don't be very lazy. Okay, just write everything that I'm writing here, and in the next lectures, okay, in next lectures I'm not going to give you any notes, okay. In previous lecture as well, I didn't give you a lecture, I didn't give you a note. Okay, I didn't give you a note. I just allow you to take your own notes. Okay, in future lectures as well, I'm not going to give you any notes. You have to take your own notes. I'm just telling you now how to take your notes. Okay, I'm just telling you now how to take your notes. In this way, if you can take your notes, it's better, okay. If you can take your notes in this way, it's really better. Okay, now here we have created some variables. Now these are some integer values. Just write it down. Okay, you don't have to have any idea what are the integers right now. Just write it down. Okay, now these are integers. Okay, why we call these are integers? Because these are whole numbers. Okay, because these are whole numbers, we call these integers. Okay, now we have created another variable here. Okay, variable. This is another variable called total, and we have done some calculation here. Okay, calculation. What this calculation does? It's going to calculate the total. It's going to add these three variable values of these three variables. Okay, it's going to add the values of these three variables, and it's going to assign that value to the total. Okay, it will add these three values, and then it will assign the value to the total variable. Okay, it's better if you can write this down as well. And this is the print function. Okay, print function. Write everything line. Okay, this is another calculation. This is another calculation, and here we have pass this variable into the print function. Pass total variable into the print function. Write everything lamai. Okay, write down everything, because this is the actual words lamai. Okay, these are the actual technical terms, passing parameters into these functions. These are actual technical terms that I'm using here, so please write it down. Okay, now here we have print function. Okay, we have print function, and what we have done here, we have pass average variable into print function. Okay, we have passed the variable called average into the print function. Write it down as well. Okay, write down everything. Okay. Write down everything. Now it's better if you can write these things as well, Lamai. Now this is the assignment operator. You don't know about these operators yet, but just write down, Lamai. Okay, this is the assignment operator. We are just getting familiar with these syntaxes, Lamai. Okay, this is the addition. This is the addition operator. Okay, and this is the division operator. This is the division operator. Write down everything. Okay. We just break down this program into tokens, and we are going to we write down everything. Okay, what this tokens does. Take a couple of minutes to write down this. Okay, Lama, I think time is enough. Okay, so anyway, I'll post this video to the YouTube as well. So if you miss anything, you can take notes from there as well. Okay, now let's try to write another program, Lama. Okay, let's try to write another program. Today, what we are going to do, we are going to write some ad hoc codes. We are not going to learn any concepts. Okay, we are not going to learn any concepts today. We just write some ad hoc codes, and we are going to run those codes. We are just trying to get familiar with the syntaxes. Okay, let's write another code to let's say find the perimeter and the area of a square rectangle. Okay, let's say we have a rectangle and we know the width and the height. Okay, we know width and the length. Let's say width and the length. We know width and length, and we want to find the area and the perimeter of that particular rectangle. Okay, let's say width is 5 and length is 10. Okay, width is 5 and length is 10. Let me draw that in the note. Okay, let's say we have this rectangle, length is 10 and width is 5. We want to find the area and the perimeter. Okay, we want to find the area and perimeter of this particular rectangle. Now what we have to do is we have to write a Python program to do this. Okay, we are going to write a Python program to do this. Now since you have write one code, I can let you to do this as well, Lamai. Okay, shall we try? Okay, take 2 to 3 minutes. If you are not familiar with the syntaxes yet, please refer to the previous code, Lamai. Okay, please refer to the previous code. Now you know how to create variables. Now in this example, we have to create two variables as length and length and width. We have to create two variables, and then we have to calculate. Okay, then we have to calculate. Now okay, now the thing is, you don't know how to do the multiplication. Okay, that's the only thing that you are missing in this code. You don't know how to do the multiplication yet. Okay, you don't know how to do the multiplication yet. So let me tell you how to do the multiplication. Okay, I'm going to open this idle environment. Okay, I'm going to open this idle environment. Here we can write our Python codes and execute. Okay, this is environment to execute our Python codes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you how to do the multiplication. Let's say I want to multiply 5 into 6. Okay, so I can use this, we call this asterisk symbol, star symbol, whatever, I don't remember the name. Okay, let me symbol name. Yeah, it's asterisk symbol. Okay, it's asterisk symbol or star symbol or whatever. Okay, whatever the name, it's not matter. Okay, so we can use this asterisk symbol to do the multiplication, Lamai. Okay, do the multiplication. If I hit enter, we can get the result. It's 30. Okay, 5 into 6 is 30. So in this way, we can use this asterisk symbol to do the multiplication. I think now you can try this one. Okay, you can try this code. You have to create two variables as length and width. You can store this 5, you can assign this 5 to the width variable called width, and you can assign this 10 to the variable length, and then you can do these calculations. Okay, same code, Lamai, same code, the same pattern that you have to use. Try to do that. Okay, if you have write the code, please send in the Zoom chat, Lamai. Okay, please send that code in the Zoom chat, or either you can send it in the WhatsApp chat as well. Then I can look into your code. Okay, I can check your codes, and if there are anything missing, okay, anything have you done wrong in your codes, I can review those codes, Lamai. Okay, I can review those. So if you are done writing the code, please send me. Okay, please send me. Take a couple of minutes to write this code, Lamai. First write the questions as well, Lamai. Okay, first write the question, draw this image, and write down like this. Write a Python program to, okay, write a Python program to find area and perimeter of this rectangle. Write a Python code to find area and the perimeter of this rectangle. You can draw this rectangle by the side of the question and try to write this Python code, Lamai. You can do that now. Okay, you can do that now. Take a couple of minutes, and when you are done, please send me the code. Okay, let's see, Lamai. Let's see how to write this code. Okay, let me go to the programmist website. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to find the area and the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay, first we can create two variables to store width and length. Okay, we are going to create two variables to store width and length. I can create those two variables in this way. Now width is 5 and length is what? Okay, I got some code. Okay, you are writing codes to get inputs as well. That's nice. Okay, that's nice. Line and width. Yeah, you have done everything correct, Lama. Yeah, okay, let's check those things later. Okay, now we have width. Okay, I'll talk about this code later, Lama. Someone has sent the code. Okay, and then I create another variable to store length, which is 10. Okay, then we can calculate area. Okay, first let's calculate area. We are going to create another variable for that, and what we can do, we have to multiply width into length. Okay, we have to multiply width by length, then we get area. So what I'm going to do, I multiply width by area, sorry, length. Okay, this is how we calculate the area for a rectangle. Now Lamai, we can print this. Okay, we can print the area to the computer, to the display. We can print that one, and then we can find what, we can calculate the perimeter. Okay, we are going to calculate the perimeter. how to calculate the perimeter, okay, how to calculate the perimeter? We can add length and width, uh, length and width, then we can multiply this into 2. Okay, we can multiply this into 2. In this way we can calculate the perimeter. Okay, now what I am going to do, I'm going to do the same thing here. I will first add width and length, then I am going to multiply this by 2. Okay, in this way we can find the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, this is basic geometry that we learn in grade 6, I think. Again, not in the grade 6, I think grade 5 or 4 we learn those stuffs. Okay, then we can print perimeter into the screen. Okay, let's hit run. Let's see what are the outputs. Okay, now before we run the code, we know area should be 50 and perimeter should be what? 5 and 10 is 15 and 15 into 2 is 30. We should get those two outputs. Okay, here we get 50 and 30. Okay, we get 50 and 30 as output. So I think our code is correct. Okay, we have the correct code. So what we are going to do now? Okay, we wrote on the code. We are going to take this code into our notebook. Okay, we are going to write everything in this code. Okay, we are going to explain everything in this code. Okay, here we have create some variables. Okay, create variables. Okay, and here we have assigned some values. Okay, assign some values, assign values to variables. Okay, here we have two integer values. Okay, these are integers. We have two integer values, and here we have created another variable. Okay, we have created another variable, and here we have used multiply operation. Okay, multiplication operator. Okay, this is a calculation. Okay, this is a calculation. We multiply width by length, and here we have the print function. Okay, write down everything. Even you are familiar with these syntaxes, just write down these things. Okay, you might be familiar with these things already, but still just write these things. Okay, write down these things. Here we have print function. Okay, we have print function, and we have pass some variable into the print function. Okay, pass which variable? Area. Okay, pass area variable to print function. Okay, here again we have create another variable. Just write these things down. Okay, don't be lazy, just write these things. Eventually you will get much familiar with these syntaxes. Now if you already know some Python, this might feel like boring. Okay, this might feel like boring, but just write this down, just trust me. Okay, here we have addition operator, and here we have again multiplication operator, and we have pass this which variable? The perimeter variable into the print function. Okay, pass perimeter variable to print function. Okay, we are trying to get familiar with these jargons. Okay, now when you write these things, okay, you are now still we don't have talk about these concepts called functions. Okay, we don't have talk about concepts called operators or assignment or variables. We didn't have talk about those things. But when you familiar with these jargons, okay, these words are jargons to you. Okay, these technical words are still jargons. You don't know the meanings of these words. But if you have heard these words, when we are going to learn these concepts later, and if you are familiar with these words, Okay, you don't need to know the meaning lamai. Okay, you don't need to know the meaning, but if you have, at least if you have heard these words, then it's become really easy to understand these words lamai. Okay, so just write these things down, even though you are familiar with these concepts lamai. Okay, even though you are familiar with these concepts, just write these things down. Okay, if you are if you are um, used to write these codes in this way. Now when we learn concepts like if else, and when we learn concepts like for loop, while loop, then eventually you become a master in breaking down your codes into tokens lamai. Okay, when you master this technique, okay, when you master this technique to break down your codes into little parts, you can it's become very easier to understand your code lamai. Okay, this is actually a technique that we use when we are learning new programming languages. We use this technique lamai. First we have to break our code into smaller parts. Okay, actually the compiler or the interpreter lamai, actual interpreter do the same thing. Okay, actual interpreter do the same thing. Let me show you this. Okay, we are learning this programming language in the way that interpreter used to do lamai. Okay, now let me show this. Okay, let me show that to you. I have this feeling still you are not trusting me, you are not writing these things. That's why I'm telling this again and again. Okay, see steps um, of a compiler. Okay, now just um, Python AST visualizing. Okay, there should be something like that. Okay, here we have this one. Okay, now let's say lamai I have provided this code to this AST visualizer. AST is some intermediate programming language. It's not a programming language. It's a format. It's a format, intermediate format of this Python language. So actually the interpreter do this thing lamai. Okay, interpreter, when now we learn about the interpreter last week. What interpreter going to do? Interpreter going to fetch line by line. Okay, interpreter going to fetch line by line, and then interpreter will convert this line into some intermediate language. Okay, maybe machine language, but in Python situation it's not the machine language, it another intermediate language. Okay, Python interpreter will convert line by line into a intermediate language, then it will execute that particular line. Okay, when it's convert that particular line into an intermediate language, this is the format that this is sort of a kind of a format lamai. Okay, it's a kind of a format. Now here if we show this, you can see this is variable declaration lamai. Okay, here we have this one. If we select this line, this is a variable declaration. Okay, this is a variable declaration. This whole thing is a program. If we go to the body part, okay, if we go to the body part, it has this variable declaration. Okay, if we go inside the variable declaration, okay, if we go inside the variable declaration, it has this actual declaration part. Okay, actual declaration part is what kind? It's a variable. Okay, if we define a function, then it will be a function, def maybe. Okay, again if we go inside the variable declaration lamai, here we have identifier. Okay, here we have identifier or the ID. If we go inside the ID, we can see the maths. Okay, we can see the maths. Now this is a variable and we call this an identifier. Okay, we call this an identifier. We learn about couple of identifiers. We have variable names, we have function name, we have class names. Okay, likewise we have different identifiers in our Python programming language. Also we are going to learn couple of rules about these identifiers lamai. Okay, we are going to learn couple of rules about these identifiers. When we are creating identifiers, what are the rules that we have to follow? We are going to learn those stuffs, but still yeah, I'm just showing this lamai. I'm not complexing these things. I'm not going to frighten you. Okay, I'm just going to I'm just telling you, if you master how to break down your codes into small parts, that's what actual interpreter does. Then if you are familiar what actual interpreter does, then eventually it's become very easier to analyze your codes. Okay, it's become very easier to analyze your codes and review your codes. You have to have that skill. Okay, that's why I'm showing this. Okay, here you can see interpreter actually doing this. Okay, it's going to break down your codes into tokens. Now this is a kind of a format that interpreter use. Now this is, here you can see this is a this is a variable declaration. Here we have created a variable, and now inside this variable declaration we have some expression. In the left side we can see this identifier. Okay, we can see this identifier. In the right side we have this call expression, and we are calling this int function. Okay, that's what it's showing. Okay, it's expanded. Like now we have this call expression. We are learning these things. Okay, we are going to learn these things in later, and we are calling this int function should be somewhere here. Okay, now I'm trying to find this int function. Okay, now it's a function. It's a function here. I'm trying to, okay, here you can see it's calling this int function. Now it's another identifier. Okay, it's another identifier, and there should be this input call as well somewhere. Okay, somewhere we should see this input call as well. Here you can see this interpreter also breaking this thing into small tokens. Okay, it's better if I can show this in a tree diagram. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, this is the tree diagram that actually they are showing, but if we go into this JSON as well here, if we go into this JSON, just let me write a smaller code like a equals 5, b equals 10, and c equals okay, no need the c, and total equals a plus, sorry, total equals a plus b. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to print the total. Okay, we have this smaller code. Okay, if we go into this code, you can see the first one is variable declaration, and in the variable declaration we have what line column, and it has this declaration, and okay, it's not showing the actual variable names and other stuffs. I wonder why. Okay, here we have, okay, here we have this one. We have this identifier, and there should be the value as well. Okay, here we have this value. Okay, value 5. Okay, we have this value 5, and if we go to the next line, it is another variable declaration, kind is a variable, and we have this declaration, and we have this what we should have the variable name here b, and we have this value 10. Okay, value 10. And if we go to the next line, we should have another variable declaration, and variable name is what? Variable name is total. Okay, variable name is total, and we are calling some expression. Expression is the addition expression. Okay, we should have somewhere here. Okay, we are using this variable name a. We are passing these arguments to this a operator. Okay, we are passing these arguments to a operator. Which are the arguments we are passing? A and b. Okay, these are the two things that we are passing into the operator. Okay, likewise lamai interpreter going to do this. Okay, interpreter actually doing this when he is actually executing the Python program. Okay, that's why we should master how to break down our program into smaller parts. Then it's become very easier to understand our course. That's why I'm telling you, even if you are familiar with Python language, okay, even if you are familiar with Python language, now here we are not going to do the same thing that Python interpreter does. Okay, we don't need to break down our code into that much deeper. We don't need to go that much deeper, but still, if we have some kind of if we can do this at up to some extent, okay, if we can do that up to some extent, then and we can master that. Then if we can master that, then when you get a Python code in your LOL paper, you are going to get some there are two ways that we can answer our LOL Python questions. The one way is you get a scenario, and according to that scenario you have to write Python codes. That's one template. The other template is you will get a Python code, and you have to explain what this code does. Okay, you may have to write the output. In that case, you have to have a better understand how this code is going to executed. Okay, in order to understand how our program going to get executed, you have to master this skill. You should master this skill, which is dividing program into smaller parts. Now it's okay to do up to some extent. We don't have to go much deeper like interpreter goes. At least in this way you have to master this lamai. Okay, we in later lectures lamai, in future lectures we will learn some concept called hand tracing. Okay, hand tracing, and when we are doing hand tracing, this skill is very important. Okay, this skill is very important. Okay, so please do these things when I say break down your code. Please try to do that lamai. Okay, it's very important, this skill. Okay, I think that's enough for this code. And Sachin, you have sent this code. Now, since we are not done this getting inputs and casting strings into integers, since we still haven't learned those things, I'm not going to explain this code right now. Okay, I'm not going to talk this code right now because it might become a bit difficult for people who is learning Python for the first time. But your code is correct, Pudha. Okay, your code is correct, and you have done everything correct. You have take input in a correct way, and you have cast those strings into the integers, and you have find the perimeter in the correct way, and you have find the area is correct, and you have write the outputs. Okay, you have print outputs, those are correct as well. So your code is actually correct. Okay, we don't have to talk about that. Okay, and Lamai, let's try to do another code then. Okay, let's try to do another. We can do another code as well as I think the basic thing that I wanted to talk today is this is the all that I wanted to talk. I just wanted to write couple of codes, and I wanted to break down these codes into smaller parts. Okay, let's try to write another code anyway. The third one is what I'm going to do is we are going to find the area of a circle. Okay, we are going to find the area of a circle. Let's say I have this circle, and I know the radius. Okay, I know the radius. Let's say radius is 7. Okay, now you want to find circumference and the area of this circle. Okay, I want you to find circumference and the area of this particular circle. Okay, now you know the radius. You can create a variable to store radius, and please find area and the circumference. Okay, in next week what we are going to do is we are going to learn about print function, and we are going to learn more about our print function, because we can do many things with our print function. We can pass not only one parameter, we can pass many parameters into our print function. So we are going to learn that thing in the next lecture. Today let's do this code, and we can wind up today's session. Okay, just write down your Python code for this scenario. Okay. Write down this question in your notebook as well. Draw this circle. First draw the circle and write a Python code to find area and circumference of this circle. Okay, write a Python code to find the area and circumference of this circle. Okay. Even though we are talking very basic stuffs in this first couple of classes, Lamai, time to time I will talk much deeper things. Okay, much deeper things I'm talking about. So please watch entire video. If you are watching the video, please watch the entire video. So otherwise you are going to, so you might thinking that okay, in this video we are just talking about very small, very basic stuff. So this video might not be very valuable, but time to time I'm talking much deeper stuff, like as previously I talked about how interpreters are working, like stuff. So those things are very valuable. Okay, if you are going to become a better programmer. Okay, this class is not just to pass A level. Okay, this class is not just to pass your A level or A level exam. Okay, this is, as I mentioned, these are some baby steps that we are taking to become a better programmer in one day. Okay, I believe that people who are attending to my classes, they want to become some good software engineers one day. So that's why I'm teaching everything that you want to know. Okay, if you want to if you just want to pass the A-level exam, then I think today we can cover much more things. Okay, I think we can cover how the print function working in first day, and we can cover how variables are how to create variables and how operators are working in the second day, and we can like 8 to 9 days we can complete the Python syllabus lemma. In 8 to 9 days we can do that. But in this class it's going to exactly, this class will take couple of months to finish Python syllabus lemma. Okay, we have to go step by step. If we are going to become better programmers, we have to do, we have to take small steps. Okay, if you finish writing the Python code, please send me the, okay, just try not to take any inputs, because you have radius here. Okay, when you have the radius, you don't have to take any inputs from the user. Just create a variable called radius and store this variable value integer 7 in that variable, and try to calculate area and circumference. Okay, try to calculate the area and circumference. And when you are done writing the code, please send me. I will wait a couple of minutes and then I will discuss the solution. Okay, I think the time is enough. Yeah, um, yeah, I have one answer as well. Yeah, super. Your code is correct. Yeah, let's try to write down the code for this. Okay, now what we are going to do first, we can store, we can save the value of the radius on a variable lamai. So I will create a variable called radius. Also lamai, when you are creating variables, okay, when you are creating variables, always try to use meaningful names. Okay, try to use meaningful names. Why I'm telling that, you are not only person that who's going to read your code lamai. Okay, now in these A-level classes you might be the only one who's going to read your codes, but when you become a software engineer or a programmer lamai, when you write some code, okay, when you write some code, some other engineers in your team as well going to read your code. Okay, some other engineers also will reading your code someday. Okay, let's say you now you are engineer in your team and you write some component. Okay, you write, let's say you created a website or some component in your program, and then you left the company. Okay, and you left the company, and fresher or another new engineer will join your team, let's say. Okay, and the new engineer join your team, and then he has to work on the project that you worked. Okay, on the project that you worked earlier, the new engineer has to work. Now when he reading your code for the first time, and if let's say you have use variable names in a very miserable way, okay, and then become a nightmare to that new engineer, because like let's say now we have radius here. Okay, we have radius here, but you are just writing, you are just create variable with a and you store 7. Now when he reading this code, how he know now this is the radius? Okay, he don't know that. Okay, now this is the lamest example that I can take to show this lamai. But let's say you write something like width. Now this become a nightmare lamai, because when he reading this code, in his imagination this is the width, then he might finding where is the length. Okay, now is this a rectangle, what is this? If you take variable like a, he don't have any idea what is this variable. Now when you write some meaningful name, now this radius, now he know, okay, what's the meaning of this variable. Okay, what's the value of this variable storing. Okay, when he has some idea, then it's become very easier to understand codes lamai. Okay, so every time when you're writing some code, try to write meaningful variable names. Okay, try to write meaningful variable name. But now it is clear, now you have to take some variable, you can take the shorter names as well. Okay, you can write the shorter variable names as well, but it's also not very proper in production. If you are really working in a software company lamai, we are not writing these shorter variable names. It's a kind of a bad practice. Okay, but if we are just writing a small script to run only once, only you are the person who's going to read your code, no one else going to read your code again, then it's okay lamai. Okay, then it's okay. But if you write some codes that other people are going to read also, definitely you have to use these complete variable names. That's a good practice, and keep that practice. Okay, keep that practice. Then one day when you become a software engineer, you have these best practices lamai, which is better. Okay, now we have the variable radius, which is 7, and then we have to find two things, which is area and circumference. Okay, first I will find the circumference. We can find circumference how in mathematics we can find circumference using, it's 2 5 r, right? 2 and then 5 and r. Now what is the value of 5? Value of 5 is either we can take it as a division, like 22 by 7. Either we can use this one, either we can use 3.14. Okay, these two values both are okay. Okay, both are okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to store this value in another variable. Okay, let's say it's 5. I'm going to create this value. Now here you can see I have used only capital letters lamai. In this variable names I have used simple letters, but here I have used capital letters. The reason is lamai, this value of 5 is a constant lamai, it's not going to be changed. But this radius, here radius, it can be 7 or it can be 8, it can be 14, whatever value it can take lamai. Okay, when the circle become bigger, the radius will increase lamai. Okay, radius will increase. When the circle become smaller and smaller, radius will decrease. The size of the radius will decrease. So radius is some value which is not permanent. That's why we call those are variables. Vichallyan venas vena sulu. Okay, so that's why we call these are variables. So this can become any value. Okay, that's why we take simple letters to write this variable names. But the value of 5 is not going to be changed, Lamai. Okay, it's not going to be changed. Even when we finish our Python class, still value of the 5 will not be changed, Lamai. It's 3.14. So now this is a constant. This is a constant. In order to let other people know, okay, now this is a constant in my code, this value will not be changed. Okay, this value will not be changed. So in order to show that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write my identifier or the variable name only using capital letters. Now whoever going to read my code, he know, okay, now this value is a constant, I should not touch this value. Okay, let's say another developer or another engineer come to work in my code. Okay, another engineer, let's say someday another engineer going to work on my code. Now when he reading my code, he know, okay, he know now this is a constant, I should not change this value. Okay, I shouldn't change this value because this is a constant. He knows that, because otherwise he might accidentally change this value. Okay, he might change this value accidentally. But in some other programming languages, we have other mechanisms to prevent programmers changing these values, like using keywords like const. Okay, when we are using keywords like const, we can do that. Otherwise in programming languages like Java, we can use different things to prevent other programmers changing these values. But in Python, what we are going to do is we are going to write this variable name only using capital letters. Now when another programmer read our code, he know, okay, this is a constant value, I should not change this value in this code. Okay, so this is become a constant. Okay, but still we can change this value. Okay, we can change this value, but only this is a symbol. Okay, this is like a symbol. Okay, now programmers who are going to read our code, they know, okay, now this is a constant, I should not change this value. So now I can calculate the circumference of a circle using this this expression, which is 2 into 5 into r. Okay, 2 into, now I can use this variable. Now I already store this value of the 5 in this variable. I can use that one, 5 into radius. Okay, I can find the circumference in this way. Then I can print the circumference. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area. Now area, how we find area of a circle? It's 5r squared. 5r squared, either we can say 5 into r and again into r. Okay, into r. So for now I'm going to use this expression. Okay, there is a way that we can write this squared expression. Okay, we can use this exponent operation. Okay, we can use this exponent operator, but I'm not going to use this one right now. Okay, when we are talking about the arithmetic operators, let's learn this, but right now I'm going to use this formula, which is 5 into r and again into r. Using this one, we can find the area for this circle. Okay, area, it's equal now 5 into r and again into r. In this way we can find what? Area, and I can print area as well. So now here radius should be 7, and when I hit the run button, okay, superb, I get the error. Okay, now here look, see Lamai, I got some error. Now when you got some error, just don't clean your code, Lamai. Okay, just don't clean your code. Please read the error message. Okay, please read the error message, and it's very important. Okay, very important reading your error messages. When you read your error messages, when you get some error, some people, what they do, they just clean their code and they just try to write their code again. Okay, that's a very bad practice, Lamai. Okay, that's a very bad practice. You won't learn anything from these errors, Lamai. If you want to learn from errors, what you want to do, please read the error message. Most of the time when we get some error message from the Python interpreter, now Python interpreter going to send this error message, Lamai. Okay, Python interpreter will send this error message. most of the time when Python interprets some error message to us, we just have to read the last line. Okay, in this A level syllabus lamai, actually we have to read only this last line. Okay, we don't have to read whole error message. Now when we are getting error messages from the Python interpreter lamai, sometimes we are getting error message like which is long, like 100 200 lines long error message we are getting sometimes lamai when we are working with a framework like Django. So if we have any number of function called stack, then it's going to return very lengthy error messages. Then we have to go through the whole error message and see where have gone wrong. Okay, so but in A level syllabus lama, you don't have to do that. Most of the time when you get some error message, you just have to read the last line. Okay, now let's read this last line. Here we have some error message. This is the error message code. It's like error message code. Okay, right now you don't understand these things. Okay, but here you can see name R is not defined. Name R is not defined. It's something like, okay, what is R? I don't know R. Something interpreter is now yelling, what is R? I don't know R. So somewhere in my code, I may have accidentally write something like R, which Python interpreter don't know. Okay, we also get the line number as well. Okay, here in the above line. Okay, we can see line number 7. Okay, line number 7. So let's go to the line number 7. Okay, here we have this line number 7. I have this variable R, but anywhere in my code I haven't created this variable. Okay, in anywhere in my code I have mentioned this R variable. I haven't declared this variable. So when interpreter try to execute this code, he don't know what is the value of this R variable. Okay, that's the problem here. He don't know what's the value of this R variable. That's why he's yelling, okay, name R is not defined. I don't know what's the R. Okay, but what's the mistake that I did here? I took this R and the identifier or the variable name is radius. Okay, I mistakenly I write R here. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, that's the issue in this code. So what I'm going to do now, I know what's the problem. Okay, I know what's the problem. So what other people used to do is they just don't read the error message and they just either they just clear the whole code and then rewrite the code. Otherwise what they are going to do, they just go through the code and try to figure out what's the error. Okay, now interpreter already have tell us what's the error. Okay, what's the error? Interpreter already have tell us what's the error. Then just read this error message. Don't try to figure out what's the error by yourself. Okay, don't try to do that, because interpreter already have mentioned what's the error. If you read that error, then you can easily find what's have gone wrong. Now I know the error is here. Okay, I have mistakenly write R for the radius, so I can change that. Okay, I can change that. Here this R also I'm going to change. Now I think my code is correct. Let me hit the run button again. Yeah, it's correct. It's correct. That's why I'm getting these results. Now I'm not getting any error message from the interpreter. I'm getting only the results. So I think results are correct. Okay, I think results are correct. Yeah, in this way, we can find what? We can find the area and the circumference for a circle when we know the radius. When we know the radius. Okay, let's take this code to the notebook. Okay. Take this code also to the node. What you have to do, you have break down this code into smaller part and you have to explain everything. Okay, you have to explain everything what we have done in this code. Here what we have created, here in this line we have created a variable. Okay, in this line we have created a variable, and here we have an integer. Okay, but in this line this is not a variable anymore. Okay, this is not a variable anymore, but yeah, this is a variable, but we consider this as a constant. Okay, this is a variable, but we consider this as a constant. That's why we have used only uppercase letters. Okay, this is a constant. Now this is a constant, and we have, what is this value? This is a floating point value, because there is a fraction part as well. Okay, since there is a fraction part as well, we call this a floating point value or a float value. Okay, just use the shorter one, float value. This is an integer value. Okay, this is an integer value. And here again we have a variable. Okay, again we have a variable. We have used multiplication operator. Okay, multiply operator, and we have this print function. We have print function, and we have pass variable into what? Into print function. Okay, again we have some calculation here also. Here we had some calculation. Okay, we did some calculation. Here also we do some calculation. Okay, we did some calculation, and we have our print function, and we have pass variable into the print function. Okay, just write these things down. Okay, mention everything in your code. Okay, try to mention everything in your code, then you can master this skill, breaking down your code into smaller parts, and then you can understand these things. Otherwise lama, every time when you look at a code, you try to understand the whole image. Okay, that's something that beginners do in a wrong way. Okay, you try to understand the whole code in one shot lama, which is wrong. You have to break down this code into smaller parts, then only you can understand this code properly. Okay, here take baby steps. Okay, right, take a couple of minutes to write this down now. Okay, I think that's enough time. So yeah, I think we try a couple of codes today, and we write all the codes, and we take the notes as well. So from the next week, what we are going to do, we are going to learn some concepts. So as the first concept, what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about the print function in much deeper level. Okay, we are going to learn about the print function. Now we have some idea about a couple of things. We know what is a variable, we know what is a constant. We have heard words like integer, floating point, and we know some operators. We know a couple of operators. Okay, we know how to use print function and what print function does. We know, we have some basic idea. Okay, even though we just discussed couple of codes today, we have some idea. Okay, we are now kind of familiar with our syntaxes. So yeah, from next week I think we can write more and more codes in this way. We can we can learn we can finish learning this Python uh, language now. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. Let's see you in next week. So please Lamai, please, before coming to the next session, practice these codes. Okay, practice these codes. Even you don't know anything about these code, just write down these codes. Okay, write this code and try to execute this code, and if you get any error, try to figure out what is there and try to fix those errors. And after practicing these codes on a web or a Python software that you have installed on your computers, please write down these codes on your notebook as well. Okay, please write codes on your notebook, then you get hands-on experience both in both days. Okay, so we have to have this practice to write answers in our LOL exam. So please keep those things in your mind, and yeah, let's see in next session, Lamai. Okay, good night.